Previously on Input Left.
They're talking about, how the Joestar spirit has passed down from like one character to the next, from one voice actor to the next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the subtitles, which I can interpret because I have a brain, but the subtitles read the toaster spirit that's been inherited by all these people, and it's hard not to laugh at that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 18. That's right, 18 of our Input Left Pokemon Diamond Randomizer Nuzlocke series. I'm joined, as always, by my preeminent co-host, Mr. Joe Vargas. How are you doing now, Joe Vargas?
Hello. I'm excited we're on 18 because in many countries we are now, in most countries we can probably drink by this age. So we've made a lot of progress in this playthrough. Well, we had a couple of things I touched upon last episode that is very exciting for this episode. One, I know I'm going to talk about my car acquisition. And also my thoughts on cars, though, which is a whole other thing. But also, we have another encounter, which is very exciting.
We do. Yeah, lots to see this episode, for sure.
So stay tuned for this entire episode if you want to learn all those things. But I also wanted to say, I was just thinking of something. I went to go put away some laundry between episodes, and I picked up one of my shirts. I don't know if you've seen this shirt before, but it was a meme, and I bought it because it was a meme. Have you seen the Sonic Says No to Fascism shirt?
I've seen the meme, not the shirt.
Okay. So there was a kid that was wearing a t-shirt, and it went viral in the video where it says Sonic says no to fascism and racism. And then people started making copies of that shirt. So I'm a proud owner. I rarely ever wear it because I know it's kind of like bootleg, and I'm kind of scared of who made this and for what purpose. But hopefully, it's a good message. So I do wear it when I run.
Nice. I think that is a good message, generally speaking, and one that I imagine Sonic would support.
Yeah, he's anti-fascist. He takes down dictator Eggman, all the time, right?
Yeah.
And certainly, how could a racist like chili dogs, right? Right?
Probably.
What?
I don't know. I haven't met anyone necessarily fits that description, but that hardly means they don't exist.
Well, so I will tell you about the car though. So and before I reveal what the car is, I'm going to tell you, and I know you've heard it probably, my thoughts on car culture and cars, but
I don't know if I have.
Really? Okay, then this will be good. Exciting for you and the audience. But I'm really generally opposed to the idea of cars. And obviously, in most cases, rural needs are different. But in an urban setting, you could get everywhere if you had reliably and probably in similar speeds to a car, if you had good quality public transit. And I don't just mean a good clean bus. I mean buses that turn off red lights, right? With dedicated bus lanes and high-speed rapid transit with internet access, heated stations. Some of that stuff we have in my city, but it's still a small part in the busiest lanes. And an integrated transit system should be able to get you from point A to point B in the same time as a car. A lot less accidents, right? A lot more efficient, and cars are also, the other thing is cars actually have a big time suck that is not typically accounted for when you're thinking of a commute, because cars have, upkeep costs. You probably want to keep it clean if you're a decent human being. And, and you get into an accident that is hours and hours of your life that you're investing, right? So I used to say I hate cars. So that's my preference. Do you have any reactions to that? I know those are some hot takes. Those are hot takes from a city kid who used public transit for, his whole life. So feel free to disagree.
I would never disagree with your central point, which is that we need more robust public transportation.
Mhm.
I think our country, that is the United States, has really substantially fallen behind in this regard. Compared to other countries. Like our trains, our buses, everything is much, much worse off. And yes, we have a big continental 48 states. I understand that for some people, that means, well, we'll just fly everywhere and who gives a crap about public transportation, but that's a really bad way to think about it.
Right.
And I think that we definitely should do more to invest in them and make cars redundant for more people.
Mhm.
Not just for an environmental benefit, but it's simply more efficient.
I didn't
like you
even
said.
get into that. Yeah, the road damage, obviously the emissions. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's all I was saying. Was just
Oh no,
yes
okay,
to-
yeah, I thought you were gonna go on a little bit more there. That's fine, no. But I would say that like, when you said car culture at first, I thought you were talking more like about people who just love cars, and love to talk about cars, and I was like, yeah, I find them annoying, but I don't like personally have a huge stake in it.
When I think of car culture, it's the idea that, first of all, everyone needs to be able to drive, and that obviously a lot of people can't for various reasons. Everyone needs a car. I mean, there's families that, especially once you get outside of cities, that have, one car to one person or more, which, I've never had that, certainly, but maybe that's your experience. And
Yeah.
I mean, even not just wealthy people either, like people in rural areas have like a fleet of old cars because their entire life is dependent upon a car, because that's the society we've built and that's how we've decided to grow our communities. And
Yeah.
it's this reliance on the car that it's an essential part of your life, which means that if you have some anxiety that doesn't let you drive, or other disability that makes you maybe not even legally able to drive, right? You are just outside of that. Even
It's a huge legal block, yeah.
Right.
Because it's not just that like the way that our communities are organized, like you'd say, there's a huge reliance on cars, like to go to essential services like a grocery store or somewhere else. Like those things are made more difficult if you don't have a car and you don't happen to live nearby everything you need. But also we've structured in the United States so many basic civic procedures around the driver's license.
Oh yeah,
which is literally unobtainable for some people.
Right. So many of our community members don't have access to a license, and the license replaced ID. Also, we do have to name this. So, what do you think about? I don't know if you have an idea. What do you think about? She's hard-headed. She fights for what she believes in. Elizabeth Warren. And she's old because she's a fossil.
She's a bit old. I'll give you that. She's very aggressive at times, and I respect that, if nothing else.
Yeah.
She's constantly Warren.
She's
all the
maybe we needed one of those Pokemon with military equipment built in, but
well, she does she talks about how I think her brother is a veteran, she has a lot of veterans in her family.
True.
But the military can't solve every problem. We have to stop asking them to solve every problem. Which is, she's on the right track, I guess.
her vibe is just imagine Kratos running around a small town saying, I'm a teacher, I'm one of you, and 2% wealth tax. 2% off every dollar. But those are my general feelings about car culture.
So now what about your actual car?
Right. So I didn't want to.
You just laid out how you think that cars shouldn't be this necessity for everybody to own, and yet you participate in this culture. Curious.
Yeah. Well, so I want to start off by proudly saying that for 22 years of my life, I was not driving around a car. Because I was not a car owner. I was mostly taking public transit or getting rides or carpooling with people. So, that I just want to say that I have saved a lot of Earth. I'm a savior.
Okay, dude. Okay. Instead, you made your retired parents drive you around all the time.
Well, that's one less car to be, breaking down and damaging our roads But, it would be oftentimes a ride to a bus stop. And then that also, so I think I've done a lot for the Earth. I think I've done a lot. But
Yeah,
ultimately,
I think you can rest now. I think it's time for everyone else to pick up their slack.
exactly. But ultimately, I live in a place where, even though it's a city, for the most, you cannot get around quickly without a car. And it was one thing when I was a student and I could like bring myself to really like take that 2-hour commute or whatever on public transit. But it's just not built for that, and I'll continue to fight for it. But it was a necessity to get a car. So I had to pick a car that is perfect for someone who hates cars. And I I Googled car for person that hates cars. And I actually found an article that said, these are the top 5 cars for people who hate cars. And you might imagine that this article was somewhat satirical or somewhat, it was saying for people who hate cars, it was their way of saying they're bad cars. Does that make sense?
Oh, actually, I just bought some mulch.
Okay. Well, that's good for the environment.
Sorry, what were you saying again?
No, yeah, just that this article, it said 5 cars for people who hate cars or whatever. Maybe it was 10. But what it actually was trying to say is these are bad cars.
Oh.
Yeah, like it wasn't really cars for people who hate cars in solidarity with you, fellow car hater. It was like cars for people who hate cars.
If you have a friend who hates cars, recommend them these cars so that they'll hate them even more and you can take pleasure in their suffering?
No, that's great too. We should do that. Actually, we want them to hate cars and suffer. But it was more like, look how bad this car is. You must hate cars if you really buy it. Like,
so it's not like for people who hate cars.
Right.
It's more like top 10 cars owned by people who hate cars, sort of.
Kind of in like a hateful way of like, clearly you should love cars. But they didn't know I was going to take it as genuine advice. So I looked up all the cars on those lists. They really excited me generally. And one of those cars, here it comes. You may have heard of the Smart car, the Smart 42.
See, from the start, I was thinking that's what you were going to be, a smart car. I don't know why. I just had this deep feeling within me.
So there were a lot of pieces that came to this decision, and I did want a fully electric car. It didn't pan out. It's too costly without getting like an old Nissan Leaf, and I didn't want that. I wanted something that doesn't look like a normal car, that feels like I'm outside the system, like a good radical.
You want to be a hipster. You are a hipster. Just come out and admit it.
I have admitted it time and time again. I am a hipster, and
all right, there you go.
I can say that with pride. And I got the Smart 42. I ordered it on Carvana, and they drove it up to my house. And the young woman who was helping said, "This is my first 42 I've ever delivered." Like, this is my. She said this. She said, "What got you into smart cars?" And I was like, "Oh, well,
not being into cars."
Oh, and I said, "Boy, do I have a story for you." So I told her.
And then you told her everything
I told her everything I told you. Took an hour overtime.
No, that poor woman.
And anyway, but she said, "Oh yeah, I've seen them a lot in Europe." And she said, "This is the first smart car I've ever delivered." And but I did tell her. Well, I softened it a bit. I said, "Oh, I really always like tiny cars," and that's kind of true too. And I was thinking, Volkswagen Beetle could be nice, or, I wanted something small and quirky. And so I have a 2016.
Like yourself, yeah.
Exactly. So I have a 2016 42 that it sits 2 people, and in the back you could throw a backpack. However, if you put the other seat down and it's just you could put like suitcases. So
you could fit a lot if it was you put that other seat.
If you put actually, like, no joke, like you could fit a lot.
I know. I knew you were gonna say.
No, it's true, because if you put the other seat down, right? I mean, it may be a tiny car, but it's still like, I mean, it's still the height, the length of the seat. I mean, it's a lot of space, so you could put a couple suitcases easily.
It's pretty apt, I think, that you got a clown car.
I know. And there's actually a bigger story than just the article, because
how could there be a bigger story than this?
There's one other thing that incited it ultimately, which was I was looking at these bike cars that are they're bikes that have like an exterior, so they're kind of a luxury thing. You bike around and you can like while you sit down, but also like their storage space, right? They're kind of you would imagine finding them in like very wealthy suburbs, maybe. It's kind of a niche thing. And I showed it to my dad just because like thought it was cool, not because I would ever buy it. It's totally impractical, especially in my neighborhood. But oh, it's Artist William. It's you.
It's me.
Wow. But what was I even saying? Oh yeah, the story. So I showed him the bikes, and he said, "Well, if you're gonna get that, why don't you just get a smart car?" And I looked into it, and he didn't realize that I was just showing him it like for fun, not for any seriousness. But he was serious about the smart car thing, and I was like, "Oh, so he's not gonna judge me if I get a smart car?" And that reincited my will to learn how to drive. And not because I was committed to a smart car, but I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can get like a different kind of car, you know? And here we are.
So, a new kind of car.
So as a community organizer,
kind of
just showing up at places with that tiny car that is distinctive is going to be very, very exciting.
It's going to make you so memorable. It's going to really help with your political career.
Exactly.
I think that you've really accomplished something beautiful here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, people will know me. They'll know me because they'll know the car, you know? Oh, he's the guy with the Smart 4.2. And I think I have a name for it. Because when I was talking to the woman, she said, oh, okay, so this is not an original name at all, by the way, but she said, oh, you gotta be careful because, you know, it's small, but it's, you know, it's zippy. And so I thought,
oh no.
I'll call it Zippy. Which, you know.
named it Slippy.
Slippy?
Slippy.
Well, the decision's not mentally 100% made yet, so.
Okay.
If you comment down below what name you think I should call my car, I will take it into account.
I'm assuming you'll have thrown up a picture of the model so that people have an idea of what they're looking at.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen a Smart 4.2, I'm sorry you're missing out, and they're discontinued. So in the US, they're very popular abroad, but they're discontinued in the US because Americans like gigantic cars. Oh my God, we're in church. Everyone quiet your voices. But what did you think when you were a kid? This is totally unrelated to the car conversation. Back to the game about walking into Pokemon Church.
I didn't really give much thought to it. It's interesting because there's no music that plays in there. This is one of the only like religious structures I think in any Pokemon game when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like even the various like Pokemon towers, like where there's like cemeteries and stuff, don't feel quite as explicitly religious as that. But it's not totally clear what's going on there. Like the stained glass depiction there is of like Mount Coronet, so like maybe they're devotees of like Arceus or something. I don't know.
I always assumed, well, Arceus is God in this universe, and he's in this game introduced. So that means there's normal monotheistic religions around Arceus and the Holy Trinity.
Normal religions.
Arceus,
Wow.
Dialga,
Wow.
and Palkia.
I don't think you can back out of that one. I know what you just said. Normal monotheistic religion. Your Eurocentrism is showing, sweetie.
Well, what is an abnormal monotheistic religion?
Well, you made it sound like monotheistic religions are normal and polytheistic are abnormal.
No.
I got him, guys. Don't worry.
I meant that normal meaning real life and abnormal meaning Pokemon.
So
God.
Polytheistic religions are fake. Okay, dude, I understand now.
Yep.
I see where you're coming from. Still can't buy Great Balls, by the way.
Are polytheistic religions fake? Are all religions fake? These are the questions that you can put in the comments section.
Oh, we're getting real spicy today, boys.
Oh yes. Lots of hot takes today. Thoughts on cars? Also throw that into the comments.
Do you hate cars? Do you love cars? Let us know, and be sure to reply to other people who have the opposite opinion of yours.
What car do you have? tell other people why their car sucks.
Yeah. Just really let loose. Pretend that those aren't people you're talking to, but bots. Pretend that they're representations of the people who bullied you in school, and you can finally own them, as you've always desired to. At long last.
Now,
in the marketplace of ideas.
You made me think about, if I were in that marketplace of ideas, that is the comment section. I would like to say I do have a couple of dream cars that I've had for a while that I just can't afford, but I actually would enjoy driving a lot. One is, you know what a Volkswagen minibus is?
A what?
A Volkswagen minibus. You know what that is?
I think so.
It's kind of like the hippie bus.
Okay.
But it's pretty big, but like it's it's just so cool. So that's one I would drive. The other is you remember that Tesla Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck? How could I forget the Cybertruck?
Yeah, where he throws the metal ball at the glass and it breaks, and he's like, "Oops."
That's so funny. And then he throws another one and it also breaks.
If I didn't live in a place where that would definitely get stolen, I would love where it would be stolen by somebody who throws a ball at.
What is wrong with you, dude? Oh my god.
What are you talking about?
Tesla. Why would you get a Tesla Cybertruck?
Dude, that's so cool. It's like you're on the. It's the moon vehicle, you know.
Dude, you bought. It looks like trash. It looks like a PlayStation 1 vehicle from Halo, the first Halo.
I love PlayStation 1. I love the first.
Which is on
Halo.
the first Xbox.
It's
the
first Xbox or the Xbox One.
The Xbox Series X, which is clearly the fourth Xbox, if you're paying attention.
I like it. I think it's pretty like futuristic. It's what they were going for.
I could not disagree more. I'm sorry.
But you don't have to.
I guess someone who hates cars might buy it more. Oh look, it's the third gym leader. Oh no, that's only in platinum. You can't fight her until the fifth gym.
So do we do nothing in this town right now?
There's one thing. First we have to go see the contest and get a little tutorial, but there should be somebody who normally gives you an EV somewhere. And that's our Hearthhome City encounter.
Okay. Is it going to be randomized?
It should be. So I'm just talking to everybody because I don't remember where this EV.
So what would happen if someone gave us something that fits into the dupes clause?
Unfortunately, it means that we just don't get to use it. I would say, here's what I would say. If the Pokemon that it's a duplicate of is still alive, I would accept, if we wanted to, we could like kill it, basically, like swap them out and basically say, okay, like let's say we already have an EV and we get another EV here, like it's not randomized, right? Then I might say like, okay, well, I'm gonna say that this EV that we currently have is effectively dead, and I'm taking this new EV. That's what I would do in this case. Is Riolu count? Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Riolu? Wait, we have Clefairy. Clefairy though. We can bring our Clefairy.
Oh, does that evolve by friendship?
It evolves by a moonstone.
So why would we do that?
Well, it's not just for friendship. There's like a bunch of items and stuff. I think, but maybe it's probably not worth it. I was just curious. All right, I'm gonna check these other houses. Are you the Eevee?
Whoa! Babe!
She's the PC person.
Oh,
Bebe.
Yeah. Bebe.
Yeah.
So it's Bebe's
One
PC.
of the less memorable versions of the like PC operator, I would say.
Yeah. She's just like, why are you in my house? Oh, what? Did she take that route too? Does she have a full team?
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
They just let moms through these days. She already had Cut on her team.
I think you can do the dress up thing for this too, though.
Tuxedo, great. Oh, well, all these politicians need the tux.
Well, all these spies need tuxes.
Oh, true. Well, I think this would be pretty much a good place to end the episode if no one's gonna give us the Eevee.
I just need to find. Eevee.
You got a Poffin.
If the Eevee's not in this room, I'll look it up between episodes.
Okay, sounds good. Who else can you interrogate? What if you have to play a contest to get the Eevee?
It's possible. That's how you get Pikachu in the
Oh, really?
In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Yeah.
This is just like an election. You know?
Okay.
You're graded on multiple factors. Visual, which is just the aesthetic. You know, height determines who wins an election. Do you know that?
I know that it plays a bigger role than a lot of people are willing to admit.
Right. Like, it plays a huge statistical role, at least. Well, this is a great place to end. Subscribe, input left. See you next episode. Bye.
See ya.